Echo amazes me with his agility, so I want to do this little test here. It's like 15, 20 feet up. I'll give you an idea of this angle here. See if he'll go up. Echo. Echo. Up. Up. Man, he knows exactly what I'm saying. He knows exactly what I want him to do. He's so awesome. I mean, it's actually straight up right here before he can get any angle on it. And that's where his paws landed, right here. I was trying to get him to go up in here because it's a little easier. But he just does what I say. He's so awesome. Okay, Echo, come on down. Nice and easy. Easy. Good boy. Good boy. We're just having too much fun out here, hiking up to the top of this hill right now. The weather is kind of perfect for it. It's sunny, but it's fairly cool out here. So I still have like a long sleeve shirt on and long pants on. Once we get to the top there, I'm gonna give the dog some water. We're not too far from camp. There's camp out there. That's probably a third of a mile out there, but it's pretty up and down. So it's a, it's a little bit of climbing. And for this old guy, he's doing pretty good. Of course, he doesn't want to be on camera. He looks good on camera, Dodger, but he's not the best actor on the Got Out channel. You have to kind of catch him when he's not paying attention. See, when he's got something else on his mind, then he forgets that I'm recording him. So he's just thinking about coming up and up. He's got a little bit of a creaky paw. I think it's his left paw. But we haven't been hiking as much lately, and I really think that has a lot to do with it. So on a nice day like this where he can get some sun onto his joints, I feel like that really warms up his muscles, and he takes a nap afterwards, and he's a lot happier at the end of the day. Once he gets up from his nap, he's like super happy. He'll be running around camp, barking at me, chasing me around. I really think the hikes really keep him fairly limber. All right, let's get up to the top of this little, we're gonna call it a mountain. It's really a hill, but it feels better if you call it a mountain. Come on, Dodge. Dodger, let's hike. Come on. Dodger doesn't have the best hearing, but I swear, like he can still hear me. I guess it's like selective hearing that he has in his old age. He won't do anything that he doesn't want to do. He'll let me know. He lets me know. As far as like hiking up hills like this, I mean, it's hard on me. You can hear me breathing. When he gets up to the top, he's gonna want water. And he'll be excited to go back to camp. There's some flowers here. Okay, so this is it. This is the top of our mountain. Echo made it first. And he's funny. I've been testing him as far as like his agility. Because when he was younger, he was pretty clumsy, but he would climb up, 6-foot fence in the backyard, straight up it, straight over. And he'd flop around and bump into stuff and run into walls and things because he was clumsy. And now as he's getting older, he's getting wiser. He's only about like 4. I guess he must be 5. He must be 5 years old, something like that. So I've been having him run up, see those little cliffs down there in the wash, having him run up them, and they're pretty steep sometimes. And all I have to do is just point, and he's like, okay, here I go. He goes up to the top, and then I get him to sit, you know, because he's some distance away from me, so I feel like if I get him to sit then, you know, it's a good time for me to practice with him, getting him to listen to me from a distance, because he's up at the top, you know, he can run off anywhere. I can't get to him because I'm down below. You know, I get him to sit, and then I'll get him to run down the hill. And he gets super excited and comes running down after me. There's a lot of hills out here. Then out here, let's zoom in. Now those are the mountains. And those are some rocky peaks out there. And there's layers of them. And just behind that is actually the Grand Canyon. We're in Nevada right now. Vegas is out this direction. You can see the light pollution in the sky from Vegas at night. It's probably, I think it's 50 miles away from here, something like that. But it's just super bright. The sky just lights up out there. Let me zoom in on camp. It really looks like these campsites are like really close together. And in some sense they are, but see how we're up here, like we feel like we're up above these guys down here, because there's a slope you got to drive up to. And so we're like looking down, but when you're out here this far back, it really looks like the campsites are super close together. The reality is I can camp anywhere out here you see. I mean, even like this road down here, I think I could get the trailer on that. And then you could camp out here where it's kind of flat and clear. You can camp anywhere out here. This is all public lands. And this is some really good landscape, just because it's not just flat desert, it's very hilly, and so there's little areas you can kind of get down in if you want some privacy, or little areas you can get up on. And then if you have just like a truck or truck camper, or even some vans can get up into these higher hills down here, and you can camp on the top of these. We're pretty happy finding campsites that are easy enough for us to get to with the trailer, the truck and the trailer. Because, you know, the trailer just can't go all the same places if you just had a truck or a van, especially a van with 4x4. So what we do is we find places that are far enough away from other campers, so we're not gonna have to deal with noise issues like, you know, generators or kids or dogs, things like that, or like parties, kind of things like that, which we really don't run into that often. It does happen, but it's pretty rare we run into people who are creating noise that's a disturbance to us. So we find a spot that's far enough away from other campers, and it's usually only 50 yards or a couple hundred yards, something like that. And then to really get away and feel like we're really, really secluded, then we come out here and hike. And we do that in forests and the deserts and mountains up as high as we can get. And we get a lot of solitude that way. Okay, I'm gonna give these guys some water. Echo, come here. Hey, gonna wait. I can't pour too much in there. I just poured too much, because they'll just drink what they want, like a couple sips, and then this thing will be down. Then I'll have to throw out whatever they leave in there. And so I just end up wasting water. So I try to just put enough that they can drink until it's empty, and then if they want more, they kind of let me know, and add some more to there. Sometimes I'll have 2 liters in there. This is like a half a liter, but I can carry, sometimes I'll carry 3 liters in there. Usually it's about 2 liters. You know, during the hot season. Echo. Water. Water is, I mean, it's obviously it's the most important thing, right? Especially when you're out here in the desert. And so you're hiking like this, like, you know, we're probably half a mile from the trailer right now, but we could end up a mile. And if I decide like, oh, I want to go up into those mountains, you know, we could be 1.5 miles from camp, and it's, you know, it's rocky terrain. It's not a quick trek back to camp. So if you run out of water, you're screwed. And I got these dogs with me, so I have to be really mindful of that. That's why, like, before I left camp, I was like, no, I need to fill this up all the way. It's already, you know, half empty. This is the first time we stopped to drink. But my problem is usually because I say, oh, I'm gonna go take these dogs on a little hike, and then it ends up being a lot longer. Sometimes we'll be gone, you know, a couple hours, when I'm thinking I'm just gonna take them for a quick walk so they can pee and poo, kind of thing. And see, so now I got, you know, 4 ounces of water here that they didn't even drink. So this is us. This is got out. We are got out. This is what we do. The dogs and I, we've been living like this, traveling around through the western US for 3 years now. And we're getting a lot better at it. It feels really comfortable. Honestly, the times that I feel the most uncomfortable is when I'm in, especially the big cities. I mean, I try to avoid those as much as I can. But even like, you know, big towns, there's a lot of big towns. Like we were just in, is it St. George, Utah? George, Utah. I think it's St. George. And it's a pretty big place, but man, it was just so hustly and bustly, and these like loud vehicles and people driving really fast and really compact, like as far as like how many people there are in just one area and how many stores and shops and gas stations just crammed in there. And I think it's a fairly smallish kind of place. That's when I feel the most uncomfortable, just because there's so much going on. And man, I always feel like I'm like in the way. My only rush is like, I'm like, oh, I got to get back to the dogs, you know, if I'm shopping in the store, which is pretty rare. But if I'm just walking around in the parking lot, I just feel like there's people zipping through there. And just like when I get into a town and I'm driving, you know, pulling the trailer, I get honked at. I guess not too much, but I mean, more than I used to when I just used to be a city boy. And I'll just be driving around in the truck, you know, not pulling a trailer, just driving like a normal pace. But then when you're pulling a trailer, you know, you're making wider turns, you're going a little bit slower, you're not pulling out as fast when you're trying to cross traffic, you know, you're being more patient because you're not as fast of a vehicle then at that point. You got to be a lot more cautious. So I get honked at a little bit. Honestly, it's not that much, but I know it's more than I'm used to, and it's like, it's so annoying. But so you just really get that sense of like, people are they're just rushing, and they're like, oh, I can't wait. And I get it, like it's annoying or whatever. You're behind some slow guy with a trailer and you got a zippy car and you just want to zip around and go to the furniture store and go to the grocery store and then go to the Walmart and pick up this and pick up that, and you got to hit the Best Buy and the whatever, this store, you got to go to the laundromat and the cell phone store and all this crap, and like go get some fast food, and you're like zipping around, and I'm just like putzing around through town because we just have this kind of slower, easier paced attitude. And the contrast is real when I get into those kind of bigger towns. And pretty much I just want to get out of there. I just go there, go to my Costco, go to my Walmart pickup, get the things that we need, fill up on the propane, fill up the tanks with gas, fill up the, I got a 5-gallon tank of gas I carry in the bed of the truck for the generator. Get that full, and then scram, and then we come out to a place like this, and I can stay out here for, a long time. I mean, there's rules, right? So it's like 2 weeks. And we're heading to Quartzsite now, where you can stay in Quartzsite with the pass for 7 months if you want. And you get really relaxed then. You get really chilled out, because it's like the pace of life can be whatever pace you want. All you're dealing with then, like at a place like Quartzsite, when you're staying there for, a month or two, is your neighbors. That's all that you have to deal with. There might be a neighbor here or there that's creating a little bit of noise, or, that has an annoying dog or something like that. So you might have to pick up your stuff and go move and find another camp. And that's easy to do with this pass. So it's really not a big deal. You saw what I'm saying is, like, you get super, super comfortable, and you can hike when you want. You can go hike at night, in the daytime, the heat of the day, whatever the weather is. You can hang out in your trailer. You can have campfires. You can cook outside. You can play music. You can play your guitar. You can play drums. You can dance around naked. I mean, you can do whatever you want. And I mean, I guess what I'm talking about is like freedom. When you're in like a town, like a city, like this place, the St. George place that I was at, man, if I was doing any of those things there, it's like, oh, someone's going to come up to you and just like, you're bothering somebody. And it makes sense, because there's people like right there. Like even if you had a house or an apartment, obviously an apartment, but if you have a house, it's like, oh, your neighbor's just on the other side of your fence. It's like this whole vast area right here. If this area was like, if we were in St. George right now, it's just house and house and house and house. This whole area would just be neighbors, like right next to each other. And now you're owning the property, and you're paying for that, and you're upkeeping it, and you're having to deal with your neighbors, and they got the kids, and they got the noise, and they got the dogs, and they got the cars, and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I know a lot of you watching on YouTube right now are in that situation. And I mean, I've been in that situation, and it's reasonable. But once you come out here to a place like this and you start living this kind of lifestyle, the contrast is real. And I guess that's what this video is about the contrast of normal life and what the dogs and I are doing, which is nomadic life. The contrast is real. Just beyond these hills out here is Las Vegas, and that's a crazy place, and there's tons and tons of people there, and it's about spending money and being noisy and being loud and drinking and partying and driving fancy cars, making lots of noise and making basically a mess. I mean, Vegas is awesome though too. Like, I really like Vegas, but the contrast between Vegas and this place is just like, it's unreal. It's just unreal. I know my hair is, I didn't shave, or I wasn't planning to make a video today. But I was doing this hike, and I was like, well, I do have some things I want to talk about. Now, if I was in Vegas, I'd be all super clean. I'd smell good. My hair would be all done up, but I'd probably have like gel in my hair. I mean, I would smell like whatever, soap and shampoo and cologne. The dogs would smell good. They wouldn't be all covered in dust. I'd have my poop bags out. They'd be on their leashes. I wouldn't have like beat up, dirty shoes and dirty pants on. The contrast is real, but the thing that's the same is either way you're living. Like, so if you're in Vegas doing that kind of thing, you're alive, you're living, you're doing your thing. That's your life. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I'm just noting the contrast, right? So you're out here, and that's what we're doing. That's the same too, is like, we're living. This is our life. These mountains are our life. The desert is our life. These washes, this dirt and the rocks and the dust. And, like we saw tarantula the other day. There's birds out here that we've seen. Supposedly there's bighorn sheep out here. That's our life. It's very different. Very different. There's all these cactus up here. These are like, I don't know what these are, but these kind of look like barrel cactus. But they're all pretty small, so I don't know if they really are barrel cactus. Usually barrel cactuses are a lot bigger. But check this one out. I've never seen this before. It's one of these little cactuses, but the cactus is gone. It's just a hollow shell of spines. Thanks for watching the Got Out channel. Hit that like button, let us know you're watching. We like to know you're watching. And subscribe if you want to see more, and hit the notification bell, because then you get notified every time we upload a new video. And I've been trying to release more videos regularly and different styles of videos. So if you hit that notification bell, then you'll know right away. You won't miss any of our videos. We got some cool stuff coming up. Once we get to Quartzsite, there's going to be some different videos. Let me just put it that way.